Tyson Fury says Anthony Joshua needs to reestablish and prove himself yet again after a disastrous loss in 2019. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Sign up for ESPN Plus UFC 246, Conor McGregor versus Donald Cowboy Cerrone. It is ESPN pay-per-view. You can also get an annual package with that. And, just click on my link for options. Subscribe. It helps the channel. I am an affiliate. Now, Tyson Fury, he's in camp for the much anticipated Wilder February 22nd fight. And he took a jab, at the press conference at Anthony Joshua, and says he's not really a part of the equation of the big three. And this is what Tyson Fury said exactly. Anthony Joshua, he already got knocked out. He's out of it, way out of it. And he needs to prove himself again. I don't mean prove yourself by hitting and running from a little fat guy all over the ring. I mean prove yourself on a high level again. He went on to talk about the Wilder fight. He said, I thought I won the first fight last time and didn't get the decision. So what's to say I'm going to get it again? So if I knock him out, the decision's made. Yes, it's a completely different fight. I'm looking for a knockout. That's it. I'm a puncher too. 20 knockouts out of 29 wins. So he says he's pressing Wilder for the knockout. Joshua needs to prove himself. And what he did and how he performed in December in Saudi Arabia on the rematch room card is not going to cut it. He has to really establish himself. And Tyson Fury, he's very contradictory. Like, he'll say one thing and change. And I don't always find myself agreeing with what Tyson Fury says, but I agree with him here. Again, there's a lot of, Eddie Hearns fans and Anthony Joshua apologists. They blew his win out of proportion. Listen, I'm a real boxing fan. I give credit just because Joshua looked so poorly in the loss to Ruiz. Nobody knew what it was gonna look like based on, he didn't give us much hope based on his performance and how he performed. So I give him props just by going in there and winning the second fight handedly, like to the point where there's no controversy or whatever. However, that's credit for, doing what you didn't show you could do to the same guy in the first fight, right? So I gave him credit for that. He got his belts back, and as I mentioned, getting a win and a W in the win column was most important. You got to get the win, and you can identify problems, continue to grow, etc. However, there were some problems and flaws, and I don't really know if Joshua is the same fighter off of that performance. Like, he didn't reverse. It wasn't like Sugar Ray Leonard versus Roberto Duran. Sugar Ray Leonard lost against Roberto Duran badly in the first fight, and then in the second fight, no-mossed him. It was nothing of the sort. So there are a lot of AJ fans and stuff, and they blew it out of proportion and made it look like it was this monumental. Like, I even heard people comparing it. Oh, you don't get mad when Floyd Mayweather boxes. Joshua didn't look like Floyd Mayweather as he was boxing. He looked like in those small spots where Andy Ruiz showed signs of life that he was even ready for a high level, elite level fight, championship fight. He put Joshua in some predicaments where Joshua didn't look like it looked like the same Joshua, and that's kind of what Tyson Fury's saying. He's way out of it. And, basically nobody's checking for Joshua the same way. And I've said this the same, my own way, and Tyson Fury's kind of telling you the same thing. I really feel Joshua, it's over for what Joshua was built up as. He could still be a good fighter, but some fighters and some losses, they kind of stick with the fighter. Like, this was not Sergio Martinez at an early age losing to Antonio Margarito. This was not even J-Rock versus Julian J-Rock Williams versus Jermall Charlo. It wasn't a loss like that. Or Andre Durrell versus James DeGale. Like this, to me, this lost, how Joshua lost and the perception, and then how he had to quote unquote redeem himself in the second fight. I told you in December, right after the second fight, after I watched it, Joshua's 2019 have forever like changed the direction of Joshua's career. And although he won, he left some things to be desired. And although he won, there's still questions that linger, because you got to look at it. I'm here to talk boxing and the factual things. Andy Ruiz came in out of shape. He looked sloppy, and when we all found out, he had no game plan. That's not Joshua's fault, so I'm not blaming Joshua for that, but that's what you were in with versus Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder fought Luis Ortiz, who was being trained with his longtime trainer, Jay, and also brought in a strength and conditioning UNLV coach and boxing strength and conditioning coach that got Sean Porter in crazy shape to fight Errol Spence and other fights. Got Caleb Plant in shape for his world title and stuff like that. So Larry Wade, I think, was an asset to the Luis Ortiz camp. And you've seen Luis Ortiz didn't come in scrawny. He looked big, but he looked in shape. He just looked good, just looked good at the weigh-in, in shape, and like he was taking it super serious. That's not what we've seen from Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz didn't come in the best shape of his life. In fact, he came in heavier than when he had less time to prepare. Obviously, the fame or partying or not giving a fuck, whatever, constituted a certain behavior, and that's what it was. So that's what we know Joshua was in there with, right? So as I've said before, most people aren't going to get these opportunities in boxing that don't always come your way and squander them like Andy Ruiz did, and just, opt to eat their way out of a title, or they know they can compete, but they can't manage their weight, especially a heavyweight division. Like, I mean, out of all divisions, what Andy Ruiz did is almost unheard of, just because you don't even have to make a specific weight. That becomes, all you have to do is come in fighting shape. You don't have to be at a certain number on the dial. You could just come in fit to throw punches, and Andy Ruiz, he robbed himself of that opportunity, so that is what it is. But even still, that's what Joshua was in there with. And he was very hesitant, very apprehensive about letting his hands go. And it showed a lack of confidence. Like it's like they've almost been hiding Joshua, like his durability in that clutch. It was put on full display in the first fight. And I think that's still there. I didn't see anything in the second fight, but a poor shape Ruiz that was the ultimate difference maker. And I'm not trying to take away from Joshua's performance, but I think he had the most basic of strategies. Just use your height, box, and then move. Get out of there. Get out of dodge. And we knew this was going to be Joshua's game point and game plan. And there was no game planning on behalf of Ruiz. It was just totally squandered. But that's not going to be the case with every fighter. Wilder, Daniel Dubois, F.A. Ajagba. You're going to have to go through probably some moments. Tyson Fury. I mean, these are all A-class fighters. So, despite what Joshua fans wanted you to believe immediately after, I think his whole profile took a major hit, because what he was billed as, we didn't really get to see in 2019, right? Everything Errol Spence is supposed to be in his 2019 fights, he showed us that. He dominated Mikey Garcia, nearly stopped him, but showed he can box a little bit more in that fight, jabbed. And then he had a dogfight with a respected welterweight in Sean Porter. But that's not, the same can't be said for Anthony Joshua. Joshua looked poor in the first fight, lost every round, came back and won every round, but, his opponent wasn't even in shape to fight. And then basically, this is my honest opinion, Joshua, given who he was in the ring with, he probably should have looked better, because I want to say if Andy Ruiz came in lethargic versus Deontay Wilder, it would have been a short night. It wouldn't have been no long 12-round fight and, hitting and not get hit. It would have been, Andy Ruiz can't take these types of punches without this fight getting stopped, or he would have been on his back, period. So I think Joshua, he won his belts, but he didn't win the fans over. He didn't win the imaginations. And that's kind of what Tyson Fury is saying. People are now know where to kind of place Joshua. His upcoming fight, maybe with Usyk or Kubrat Pulev, it's just, you know, I think they're more of a domestic level fight if anybody's going to get excited about that. I don't think Joshua has done much to become a U.S. draw, which I would imagine for a fighter would be a market they would try to conquer. And that's kind of what it is. So I agree with Tyson Fury. I think Joshua, he has to do something. He has to put some significant wins in the bank, or significant, like it could be one person if it's the right person. Like if he dominated or just beat Wilder or Tyson Fury, then obviously it puts him right back there. Luis Ortiz look good versus him or something. But in my opinion, I don't think Kubrat Pulev and guys like that are going to cut it. You know, it's hard to really gauge almost a 40-year-old versus a more youthful guy. You know, we've seen Pulev stop before. We've seen him in his last fight with Rydell Booker. So that's just what it is. I think it's very clear more than ever that Wilder and Tyson Fury are the 1 and 2 guys in the division. And that's just based on everything. They're both undefeated until February 22nd. Somebody's got to go. What they've established, what they've done, the performances they put on, who they fought, etc. So Joshua, he does need to reclaim some of that respect that was kind of zapped away from him in the Ruiz fight. Let me know what you guys think. If you love what I'm doing, smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.